allow the two children to attend the budget every year. It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind. Like me.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk through to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don't come. Ingo torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not the off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai. Them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make we shout, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, man of the masses, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. This one not they off in mind, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking, they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don't come. So my people make you loud, oh, yo, yo. Mayegun don't come, oh, yo, yo. My people make you shout, oh.
Hello there.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dodo. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dodo. Ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara yìí. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Ṣé ń lọ ní Mayegun dá wa sí? Àṣírí ọ̀dẹ̀lú kì í kó níbẹ̀ o.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you. And then a good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. This is Mayegun Live. Thank you so much for joining me again. Please read the caption of the broadcast and read beyond the caption of the broadcast. The description as well. Like it, share it, invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends. Tell everyone that should know that Mayegun today.
And here tonight, Lórí Facebook.
Yeah, we are back again tonight. Probably the recovery week, you call it.
And here tonight,
there's so much to discuss as well.
And here tonight,
Koolu left China, Beijing, yesterday. According to his handlers, he is expected to have been in London today. Not sure about that though. I had few, usual blue that he left for the alleged Nigerians in Beijing. I am taking tougher decisions for a better Nigeria. Really? Thank you. So today, and good morning to you once again. Good afternoon to you, and good evening to you from wherever you are joining us. It is Mayegun live. Kindly let me know if the audio is still pretty much perfect, because it'll be sad if I just continue talking and then the audio is not popping out. However, it is just going to be the continuation from where we stopped yesterday. I told you I've got a lot of gist there initially yesterday, just to cover those days that we've been away. However, there are also latest too. So thank you so much as you read this and share it. Thank you. So we are starting with a Koolu's statement in Beijing. However, this morning, the breaking news was that Akuri Niga-lielie tendered his resignation, but they didn't put it that way. They said Akuri Niga-lielie, one of the lying mouth for thiefnubu'sspokesman, he was one of the lying mouth for Bokwari for these murderous, for his own murderous years as as a government in Nigeria. So Akuri Niga-lielie continued the same job for thiefnubu'sspokesman, and it's lasted 15 months. And I believe it ended today. There are many conspiracies around that and all of, like putting together all things that happened in the last 15 months that possibly showed Akuri the door. But he didn't leave, like resign that way. They said he's stepping aside. What the heck is that? Anyway, he tendered this resignation today, and Bajabiamule received it, approved it, because Akuri Niga-lielie said he's having a family problem. Somebody even said, Baba, you know how much this guy spend in trying to clean off the causes that people actually cause them. I'm like, well, that doesn't really work. But there are people who believe that these guys knows what they are dealing with and what they are doing to Nigerians. However, they kind of have people who reminds them that they have causes here or there, or affliction here and there, and to prevent them from suffering all of that, they need to get to pray for them and all that, right? So Akuri Niga-lielie said he has a family problem. His family have health problems that he would need a lot of time to be away. So he called it indefinite leave of absence. But nobody gets indefinite leave of absence, just resign. But that's not where we are going to start there from this evening. Okay, so we're going to start from thiefnubu'sspokesman, Wale Idun, and few others who went to Beijing, cap in hand with their bows, among other African countries that China hosted in their country. China called all these African countries to China, and then they call it African Chinese or African China or China Africa summits, where they will discuss developments, they will discuss how to develop Africa, sort of. So Koolu, who was one of the guests, so to say, also had few things to say to the supposed Nigerians living in China. Promise you this, right? Majority of those who usually attended to these clowns outside Nigeria, they are not people who reside in those countries mostly. They are usually the embassy staff and the contingent of travelers that they always bring from Nigeria. So if they come to the UK and say we are meeting the UK, I mean Nigerians in the UK, that's not true. Okay, so they have three ways of doing it. The first one, those who follow the thiefnubu from Nigeria, they themselves are like about 80 of them, right? Then those who are working at the embassy, Nigerian embassy in that country, so you're likely going to get like another maybe 20 or 30 of them. Then they are going to call on their supposed Abroadian Buharidins, Abroadian Buharidiots, like that. But this time around, it's going to be, Abroadian, what do you call it, the Jaga bandits, so to say. So Koolu, after that video you watched yesterday, where he was, speaking from his prepared speech, right? Hang on. I think we should roll it back a bit, just a bit. When Koolu left Nigeria, right, or before he left Nigeria, Akuri Niga-lielie made an announcement and said, thiefnubu is going to China to go and attract investors. He's going to China to, and just other, sweet talk, sweet nonsense like that. But it wasn't the reason why Koolu went to China. He went there because they were summoned by the Chinese premier, as usual. They call them almost every year, okay, to discuss the progress of China and the Chinese businesses, Chinese exploiters in Africa, and how much progress they've made. In order to make it look like what they go to America, what they go to other European countries to do, because it's similar. European Union can call them, say African European Summit, and all of them come to Europe. Or they will say African American Summit. They will all go to America. While they are there, they are just there to show to the supposed interested Americans or interested Europeans, interested Chinese, what they can take from their country or what, and then in return for maybe railroad, bridges, and all the other stuff, right? So that's what they went to China to do. But Akuri Niga-lielie told people that thiefnubu was going to China to go and attract investors. That's not true. But again, he was there, read all the papers they gave them to read. And after the whole back and forth and the rest, right, they went on to go and organize a town hall meeting for thiefnubu, where he was supposed to be meeting the Nigerians in Beijing. But they are not really Nigerians in Beijing, right? But I am interested in what he told them, because this time he wasn't reading it, he was saying it. Promise you, right? That's why we have to start from there, so that it won't be like, why are you torturing us? So you can quickly put it behind you, right? So thiefnubu in China met with supposed Nigerians in China. Then he told them this. Let's start with this.
It has been a very good trip, successful partnership, pushing for Nigeria in progress. And we have governors here. I don't know whether you've introduced yourself before I came in, but honorable ministers, they've given you some insight into what we're trying to do. What is uppermost in my mind is for you to represent Nigeria. Nigeria for development. Nigeria for good citizenship. I one of us, and we have to encourage you to be good ambassadors, all of you. That is very key to me. We celebrate our diversity. We cherish it. But in this diversity, part of one line in the national anthem is our commitment to serve. If it is about service, we should be good citizens. That's as simple as that it is. I can't tell you more except from the embassy that Chinese is a very disciplined society. And we have to be disciplined too. Without discipline and commitment, we cannot be a nation that is expected to be. Exploit our diversity and be ready to do everything within the law of the community that we live in and reflect a good image of our country. Yes, you talk about investment opportunity and small-scale businesses. That is what is equally driving China's economy. And we have Bank of Trade and Industry back home. Try to get, some of your members to get connected with the bank. And we're ready to help all small-scale businesses to grow. To me, the country is going through a very strong phase of reform. And this reform is taking a very bold and hard decision. For example, you might be hearing from home now in the last few days about fuel prices. But can we help it? Can we develop? You use their good roads, say, You see electricity being constant. You see water supply being constant and running. And you see their good schools. And we say we want to hand over a banner without staying to our children. What is the critical path to get us there? If we cannot take hard, painful decisions to pave the way for that country that is so blessed, so talented, so many of you talents here speaking Chinese and all, their language. It is what you equally contribute and tell them at home that will reflect in the attitude of our parents. The more we want everything free, the more it becomes expensive to develop. That's it. It's difficult. I saw good roads here. I want to emulate and reflect it back home. I want our children to be in good schools, not in tattered huts and dilapidated classrooms.
Nuisance lele.
You know, I hope a lot of you are already so used to whenever I play thiefnubu, I am not asking you, or I do not expect you, right, to begin to put all of your expectation of, oh yeah, he wants to say something. Let me go and listen. I want to hear what he has to say. Don't punish yourself. Okay, he is incoherent, right? And then he's basically unintelligent as well. But you see, is the Presidiot of the contraption called Ligeria. But let us kind of dissect a few things he said there. And I know if you have to try to put them together, they won't make any sense. But I'll try and possibly make a sense out of it, not for him, just for you to understand the nonsense is spewing there. Okay, so let's start with this. He's talking about diversity. Our diversity, you know, you have to be a good ambassador in China. You know, look at their roads. I know some of you have been hearing from back home the price of petrol going up. Yeah. So we want you to know that in China, they have constant electricity, constant water supply, very good road. So we cannot develop if we want everything free. I beg, raise up your hand here if you are receiving anything free from Nigeria. As a person who resides in Nigeria, what is it that you're actually getting for free? Anything? I know it doesn't make any sense, okay? But just to make you understand the senselessness in what it's saying, right? So we can put it in parts that way. China they have good road, constant electricity. And did they get that from the hyperinflation inflicted on you by the wrong policies that the likes of thiefnubu and his gang have been pushing? Did they build this beautiful road by increasing the increasing the price of petroleum so that they can say, you see, there's people complaining at home and they want us to develop. They want us to develop. We have to pay the price. I want you to tell them at home and say, see, there are good roads here to achieve them, right? So people have to pay sacrifices. But how does a country that is supposed to be one of the top 10 oil producers in the world with no single refinery of theirs working, how does paying so much subsidy and then paying so much on a liter of petroleum, right? How does that contribute to getting constant electricity, constant water supply? How? Is the excess you are paying on the liter of petroleum, is it being paid to government as tax? No. How about the subsidy? The one they have been paying but lying to you that it's been removed. Who are they paying that to? Is that also being paid to government? Like, are there more money to the government? The answer is no. But when you try to pick the brain or the brains of these brainless crooks, so to say, because it's a two-way thing, right? There is difference between people who have access to public fund, right? On in-that access, and they can loot it as at will. Okay, those who can loot your public fund at will, as well as those, right, who actually have the brain to say, oh, listen, we do not have enough resources to do what we want to do. How do we create enough resources to be able to achieve what we want to, like, for example, infrastructural development, like bringing people that will come together and say, okay, what can we do? How can we kind of like bridge the gap of infrastructural development, especially electricity in Nigeria? That's not the brain these guys have. The brains they have is the brain to, since they have access to the public fund, they have access to this, everybody's common patrimony. They could just use this with a stroke of pen. They could write it all off to themselves and into their banks. And they could walk about with confidence that the looted fund from the public is sitting so cool in their private bank accounts, and nobody is going to touch them, right? So how do you kind of like juxtapose that with use paying through your noses because of his policies that add no single thing developmentally to you? Anyway, it's Koolu. Let's hear the other part before we move on.
You make teaching interesting and make business flourish. One economic action leads to another. It is in your hand to build our nation. My own is to provide the leadership that is necessary, and I'm committed to that. It's not all about politics. If you are afraid of taking the hard decision when it is time to do it, you probably will not be able to build a national consensus any day, anytime. So take action when it is necessary. We will do that. I promise you good governance. We are focused, and I have a very good team, I believe. So, to represent us is in your heart, it's in your mind, it is in your character. To promote Nigeria, all the questions you ask about what privileges that we could garner, but being listed, among the yes, we are discussing all of that. They are interested in the cultural diversity of the economy. They have the population. They have to service the population, and they are doing it. So it's in your hand to elevate Nigerians. We are not competing with any other nation. We are just part of a continent that is promising and is, forward-looking. And all I can promise you is good governance. And this team will not fail you, will not let you down. The governors here are highly committed to work with the federal government and elevate their states. But without investment, there can be no rewards. So many of you in the private businesses, yeah, you've seen that. And so, if we say we have oil and we are not utilizing it for economic prosperity of our people, to develop, to diversify the economy, to build highways, who will do it and when? So, as I said earlier, I promise you good governance. You should promise me good citizenship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Let's put our hands together for our
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
I told you, the same people he left Nigeria with were the same people inside that room. 90% of those inside that room, they were the ministers, governors, PAs that left Nigeria with him, and their own aides too. They were the ones inside that room talking to, as if he's talking to, oh yeah, he's addressing the Nigerians in Beijing. He kept saying, all I can give you is good governance. What is good governance? When in the same breath, you are telling them that it is in their mind, it is in their heart to make Nigeria work. My own is to give you good governance. Like, what does that even mean? Oh, I take bold decisions. That's why I said I take bold decisions. You know, if you want to, build a country, you have to make bold decisions, take bold decisions. He kept saying that. What kind of bold decisions? And what does that even mean? Mine is to provide good governance. But to make Nigeria, mine is to promise you good governance. Then you have to promise me good citizenship. What does that even mean? What? Gibberish, right? Okay, let's assume that somebody said he's using a reverse psychology. That is to say, oh, for Nigeria to work is in your hand, is in our hand. Alaye, you are the one who rigged yourself in that you want to be the Presidiot of Nigeria, because you can put together, you can put together the team to make Nigeria work. 15 months. They've pushed more Nigerians into poverty, no doubt. And I just saw the report that said in the last 15 months, the terrorists in Nigeria have killed more than 15,000 Nigerians. The terrorist. That's his legacy. The Nigeria national grid, electricity has collapsed. 48 times in the last 15 months. It got to a stage they told them to stop reporting it. So what did he mean by mine is to give you good governance and yours is to promise me good citizenship? What does that mean? I'll read my comment, but here is Wale Idun, another empty head, right? Which is in charge of your economy, I believe. One of the discovered brains of thiefnubu. Listen to this one. This one, I am also going to advise you. Please, for your own sake, do not listen to him with rapt attention and say, okay, I want to hear him. Maybe it's going to make any sense. I warn you.
Well, I think it is a very important visit. Number one, it's actually two
visits rolled into one, or two engagements rolled into one. Number one, Mr. President was honored with a state visit to China, hosted by President Xi Jinping. And secondly, of course, there's the Forum on China and Africa Cooperation, FOCAC. So there were two consecutive events. Number one, the state visit meant a focus between China and Nigeria on intensifying cooperation across all spheres, the political, the economic, and of course, the social, cultural. So in terms of the political, there was commitment to joining forces and speaking with one voice, with a common front across multilateral organizations such as in the UN and so forth. And then secondly, in terms of the economic and financial, there was discussion and there were a number of agreements reached on infrastructure development, in particular road, rail, seaports. And here it's important to point out, because we're always focusing on lending and borrowing activity. In this case, there was important emphasis on foreign direct investment from China to Nigeria. For example, the Lekki port is actually a foreign direct investment by a Chinese company. They were also participated in the construction of the port, but also the financing on an equity basis. And that's what we need to see more of. Equity financing by domestic investors, by foreign investors. That's the whole point of Mr. President's agenda of stabilizing the Nigerian economy so that investors can come in, help it grow, create jobs, and of course, reduce poverty, which is the overall goal of macroeconomic policy and development as a whole. And that's something that President Xi Jinping and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu were clear on, that their ultimate goal is to develop the economies and reduce poverty. So that was specifically the part of of these engagements. That was a state visit. And of course, were very warmly received by the president of the People's Republic of China and indeed his whole entourage. Secondly, there was the Forum on Cooperation between China and Africa, FOCAC, and that of course meant about 50 heads of state were here. And what happened there was that the Chinese president, he re-emphasized, one, the need for, and his initiatives for global security, for global development, and indeed for global civilization. And in a nutshell, he was focusing on renewing and strengthening and even re-energizing with additional funding, $50 billion over 3 years, as well as some other specific initiatives aimed at mutual development, mutual cooperation, and in fact, development of the African continent as an important part of what we call the Global South. Interestingly, modern as it is, and with all the engineering prowess that it possesses, and with all the advancement that is achieved, China still talks of itself as a developing country, as part of the South. And really, when you look at GDP per capita, China is developing or smaller in terms of GDP per capita than some of its Asian neighbors, the Koreas, Singapores, and so on of this world. But in every other sense, it is a modern economy. And there was strong focus on modernization with a human touch. And he spoke of factors and elements that would touch the heart of any partner. He talked about in terms of the push for global, for modernization of the developing world. He said that the path to development should be one that leaves nobody behind, that leaves no nation behind. So it was very much a rousing speech at the opening ceremony by President Xi Jinping that warmed the hearts of many people and held good prospects for China-Africa cooperation across cultural exchanges, training, human development, health, and of course the all-important modernization of African economies through infrastructure development across all the frontiers, ports, railways, roads, bridges, and indeed the agricultural sector. So it was all-encompassing. The Nigerian delegation, led by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, included the governors of Kaduna, Kwara, Lagos, Niger, and senators, amongst others. And we've had very, very full engagements and very specific discussions with not just organizations here that do the lending, like the China Development Bank, China Exim Bank, but in particular, organizations that are in charge of investing.
Again, I'm going to ask you, could you make any sense of what he's saying? Apart from the word salad, development of specifically development of Africa and global development of agriculture, development and the cooperation. It's not just about lending, development. When you talk about equity funding, equity, bridges, ports. We had a very specific engagement, like in the UN, equity savings, development, global development. And what the heck? Eh? I'm a Yoruba man, right? I am not a professor. I can tell you, these charlatans are the worst that you can find in Yoruba land. As educated, as exposed and enlightened as Yorubas are, these are the worst of the cretins that you find. And it's the guy in charge of your Nigeria economy. Wale Idun. That's what they do. Meanwhile, what they went there is just to go and listen to Xi, and then Xi will give them loan. And this loan is going to be $50 billion. It's not actually loan, $50 billion investment, they call it, which is going to be for 3 years. And that's for all of these African countries who have something to offer China. So from the 50 billion, right? If you have something that China can take, maybe you can get 1 billion, maybe you can get 2, and China can take maybe about 10, 15 billion worth of whatever it is from your country. Do you get that now? That's what they went there to discuss. It was supposed to be a better, okay, hang on. It was supposed to be a better brand than thiefnubu'sspokesman. Even you watching me right now, who is a thiefnubu supporter, could you make any sense out of what he just said? Eh? Oh, the state governors who are here, we had a specific engagement on, seed. What is that specific engagement, man? These are the words you can get from Yoruba land, from anywhere. And he didn't pick them because they have any brain or anything to add. Their job is to ensure, right, that wherever they are placed, okay, they empty the place in the name of Koolu, and then turn around to gaslight you by telling you that our partners, our this or that. So I couldn't make any sense out of that. I was kind of, well, I've seen the video, right? So I was expecting them to say, oh, we came to China and the last few days has been really, really, productive. Okay. So we have been able to secure so, and so. In fact, we have been able to secure an investment worth over $16 billion. And in the area of agriculture, we have, for example, we have a Chengdu farm, Shenzhen animal husbandry. We have a milk industry here in China. They have all pledged, right, to invest almost $14 billion in Nigeria in the next 2 years. So, for example, we've told them about the arable land in northern part of Nigeria. And we have decided to partner with the biggest farm in China, who is ready to also come to Africa. So we have told them that we can guarantee them. In fact, we signed a deal to give them 1 million acre of land where they're going to cultivate to grow so and so. That is specific. That's what you call specific. Or in the area of for example, in the area of power generation, thiefnubu said it was going to generate 40,000 megawatts of electricity. So this trip to China, we have been able to sign a deal with a Chinese hydroelectric company. The company itself is worth over $20 billion. But they've signed a $2 billion deal with us, where they're going to come and help us build so and so, that will generate so and so megawatt of electricity in the space of 2 years, which would then be channeled into industrial. That's specific. That is specific. That is something you can say, oh, okay, great. Even Bukwari that went to China to go and do currency swap deal, it was specific. Even though that deal was pretty much like, take $10 billion from Nigerian foreign reserve and give it to China. And China opened a yuan account for them to say, you see, this is your $10 billion. Thank you. Bring it. Oh, yeah. And they collected it and say, okay, yeah, we have opened a yuan bank account for you. It is 22 billion yuan. So all the Nigerian businessmen transacting, or that will be transacting business with China, right? So they, with this yuan, what have you, right? So they have secured for themselves its total so and so savings, which means it's going to be easier now. So if they need access to yuan and all of that, with this money you give to us, they can transact business with our country and the other interested parties in our country to build a mutual developmental business or whatever with your country. So, and that is going to be worth this. Even Bukwari, the Dombo Bukwari, was specific. But this guy, oh my God, I want you to listen to the rest, please. It is so annoying. I am a Yoruba man, and it breaks hearts when people say you should stand up and fight for these criminals who don't give a shit, give a damn about you, whether you are from, they don't give a damn about anything Yoruba to start with, not to talk of Nigeria, right? These are the empty heads in Yoruba land now destroying Nigeria. Let's own it.
Equity. And so the conversations continue, and it has been a very worthwhile engagement. And if we look at some of the transactions that have been signed, there's an important gas and methanol project going up at Brass in Bayelsa State, among so many others. And overall, it has been time well spent. And now, of course, the all-important follow-up is what is next on the agenda, and is what we expect to happen next. Strong follow-up on the initiatives, strong follow-up on the agreements and the memorandums of understanding that have been signed, and of course, a boost to growth and development of the Nigerian economy. Around 1990, I think the GDP per capita of Nigeria was actually ahead of China's, but they have since left us behind. And the lesson is that we have a lot of catching up to do, but they have done it in a relatively few number of years, in a couple of decades or so. And so That should be our own objective. That should be the example that we must look to follow, that we must have rapid, sustained, and inclusive growth year after year for a decade, for 2 decades, and then that will take us to the kind of modernity, the kind of advance, the kind of lifting of people out of poverty on a massive scale. They have achieved it here, and that indeed is the objective of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. In terms of the domestic economy, all the signs are that, yes, the corner is being turned. GDP in two quarters has grown, has increased, and it is above population growth. So it means that there is progress in that important front. Likewise, inflation has started coming down. The reserves are building up. The trade balance is positive. The current account is positive. So we don't have any balance of payments problem as such. And of course, we are looking to for the exchange rate to continue to stabilize. And eventually, that should be able to lead to a lowering of interest rates, which again would give a boost to domestic investment. And the key, what China has done and what is achieved, the key is investment, domestic investment, attraction of foreign direct investment that creates jobs, that increases productivity and grows the economy and reduces poverty. So that is the clear goal and target. And to date, there has been progress, and we just need a bigger, more momentum in the direction that we are already going. And one of the things that has given confidence at this time is we have just completed, I would say, in the completion stages of an important domestic issue of dollar bonds. And what that does is that it shows the resilience. The success of it will show the resilience of the Nigerian economy and the ability of Nigerians to depend on their own resources, the ability of the government to attract with its policies savings of Nigerians from abroad, whether they be Nigerians living in Nigeria who are keeping money abroad, or whether it be Nigerians living abroad who now decide to save some of their money in the Nigerian economy. It is the ability to attract resources for investment that is the key to rapid development. And all the signs are positive in that direction.
It can give you brain in the what's that one called again? Brain neuronism or something. Especially when you listen to people who are just talking gibberish, lying, and you're like, what was he talking about? Inflation is coming down, exchange rate is stabilized. What the heck? This morning, I shared something on Mayegun's Diary Politico. And typically, the typical Liejiriyans, okay, that usually have to, leave these rogues and blame somebody else for Nigeria's problems. I said, your inflation is not going down, it's rising. And what that simply means is that whatever hardship you are facing right now in Nigeria, it is just a child's play. It is going to get worse. And then one idiot came and said, you this a prophet of doom. You know, they say that all the time to gaslight you and make you feel like, or make themselves feel like you are the one responsible for the increase in their petroleum prices or the hardship they are facing. Because they listen to these rogues who just talk to them, who just say things that most of them are too hungry to even process, right? However, the inflation in Nigeria originally is more than 400%. But they continue to tell themselves that it is just a 42% inflation. And that is a food inflation. Meanwhile, the loophole they opened which is like the drain conduit, the drain pipe on your economy, right? Is basically the subsidy they are paying, but they are telling you that they are not. Yeah, on the one hand, they will tell you they are. On the other hand, they will say, oh, we are taking bold decisions that many people will never want to take. And that is why you are all kind of going through a lot now. So don't worry, you need to suffer it and you'll be fine later. No, you won't. No, you won't. The reason why you would not be better off is that the decision that led to this, to these guys, they are bold decisions and they are they are sticking to it, then patching it from behind to think maybe they can just blame someone else or you. Nigeria is gone. You are all living on a borrowed time. And the implosion, right? When the bell finally sounds, a lot of you will need to go and watch Venezuela and the implosion of Venezuela economy. It's so important. I don't want you to go and look at that of Zimbabwe. No. Take a look at that of Venezuela. It's so recent and you can easily follow it. The greed, the incompetence of these guys are enough, okay, to see to the total destruction of Nigeria. It's ongoing, and a lot of you are witnessing it. The destruction of Nigeria, the breakup of Nigeria, you are witnessing it live. And there's no amount of people there's no amount of fingers you point at people. Now your fault. You don't wish Nigeria. The people who don't wish Nigeria well are these rogues. Their actions and inactions are ruining and destroying businesses. As businesses are dying, lives are being destroyed. Well, jobs being destroyed, life being destroyed. So what do you think is left? Because they are still telling themselves that they are doing fine. 1 year, 15 months. You don't expect them to change Nigeria in 15 months. They are saying that to themselves too. Or you expect them to destroy Nigeria this much in 15 months, or didn't you? No, I'm just asking. If they say to you that you cannot expect them to change Nigeria in 15 months, there's nowhere that you can change. Abba, these guys are saying it. You, that is their victim, you are saying it too. And you have no idea that you have either been brainwashed enough that you have become so dumb and stupid that you have no idea the danger you have actually put yourself in by agreeing and accepting with these guys. So if they can make Nigeria better in 15 months, but they have the chance of stopping the bleeding, don't they? I mean, they have the chance. A month ago, is it up to a month now? Yeah, a month ago, us in the UK, we elected the Labour government. And I can tell you this, 100%, right? That within this last 1 month, even people living in the UK, not just people living in the UK, I mean like even those who supported the Tories for 14 years and they watched how the Tories destroyed this country, the economy, and all of that too, right? Even though they would disagree. No, they did not. Don't say that. Okay. So after watching the Tories destroyed the UK for 14 years, even members of the Tories themselves, even they can tell you that this last 1 month, you can actually monitor the policy pronouncements, actions, and orders of the Labour Party or the Labour government in the UK, that you can easily say, okay, this one is changing now. Oh, well, I think this one is. Oh, this one is. When I say changing, I'm talking about horrible policies that are gradually being reversed. And you can immediately feel them. Because I live here. I didn't vote for Labour, but they are the ones in government in the UK. But I can tell you that just 1 month, so 15 months, these guys have expended, listen to this, in case if you don't know, these guys have expended more than 40 trillion naira. Let's break it down. Currently now, the World Bank says Nigeria happen to be the biggest debtor, the biggest onigbese to the World Bank, with a debt of over $16 billion. From that $16 billion, you know that thiefnubu and his gang, they themselves have, they took from this World Bank, they themselves have collected more than $2 billion as loan from the World Bank. Don't ask me about the conditions of the loan, because the valuation of your currency, floating of your naira, they were the conditions for them to collect this money. Now, if you leave World Bank and you go to IMF, Nigeria has borrowed, in the last 15 months, Nigeria has borrowed more than $2.5 billion from the IMF. Add that to another 2 billion from the World Bank. That's like a 4.5 billion, right? Then go and add that with the Afrexim Bank loan that they also took in the last 15 months. Add that to, which is a 3.3 billion, 4.5, 3.3. That is what? $7.8 billion. Also, within the same time, under review, Kadobi Oduduwa Emefiole, the Central Bank of Nigeria, they've also printed over 17 trillion naira that they gave to thiefnubu in the last 15 months. Now, if you look at $7.8 billion, it was Shesi naira. And tell me how much that is, if that's not over 10 trillion naira. Add 10 trillion plus 17 trillion. Good. Then look around. And then you will ask yourself, what have they done with the money? Like, you should be able to have seen it. If these guys have attracted such huge amount of money, right? Where is the money? To the point that Nigeria right now, not only that Nigeria has lost the revenue, its revenue drive, people have become poorer. So that's why they have to print money to cover up, if they can't borrow, there is no investor bringing in any real money to Nigeria. No. When I say none, it's so shocking that even thiefnubu and gang, they are surprised. Like, how come there's no real investor that you can say, okay, to the point that these guys were raising bonds. Yeah, dollar bond. They're writing dollar bonds now, $500 million. So that if you have money, you can buy Nigeria bond and give them the money. They are drafting other bills to come and collect our diaspora money, my money, your money, all our money. They'll bring the money now. We want to use the money for development in Nigeria. We'll issue you a bond in a year or 2 years' time, right? You can go and reclaim it. We'll use something to back it up and pay you later. But we need the cash right now. So all this cash, where is the impact of all this cash? Because they are supposed to be impactful. You are supposed to feel them. Like Yemi said, that's my own, great grandma, Yemi. Yemi will say, "Kóníyàn rù, òun láti mú rohun fara ṣe. Kóníyàn bá rù, òun láti mú rohun fara ṣe." Tí èèyàn bá learn, tí èèyàn bá rù, you should be able to say, Mayegun, why tó ṣe wá learn báyìí? Ọ̀gbẹ́ni, mo ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ surgery ni o, ṣé o lájú ẹ ni? Okay. So I wonder, báwo ni Mayegun ṣe wá learn báyìí? You get what I mean? Like, if you look at me and say, Mayegun, how come you are so, it's like you've lost weight. What happened? I say, well, I know why I lost weight, because I just, I was unwell and I had a surgery. I say, okay, I understand. Well, a lot of you are you are starving. You are losing weight, you are losing your mind, you are losing your brain, you're losing your everything. And so much money is being pumped into Nigeria and supposedly into Nigeria, but into the private pocket of these rogues. A lot of you are going skinnier, losing weight and all of that, but you have no idea why. Because the people that are milking you, sucking your blood, Every now and then, they are the ones speaking grammar and then gaslighting you, using reverse psychology on you. Hey, what have you done? Maybe everything you got to blame government. Eh? What have you done? One way came to my platform this was it this morning? Yeah, one of those already destroyed the lunatics in Nigeria. You know what I mean? Like people are hungry and they are going mad. That too, right? So I said, Omo, in the next few weeks, what is going to come, what you are going to face, it will be unprecedented. It will be things that can only be imagined, that people will never believe will happen. That's what you are going to face economically in Nigeria. But I have an advice, so go buy a bicycle. That means you can win two things. Okay? You are going to have, you'll be exercising, and then you'll be saving money. Not be saying you will save money, but at least, yeah, you'll be cutting costs. If you don't get bicycle, go and buy one. No. It was just a simple advice. And if you don't get money to buy bicycle, just make sure that your leggy bends is really, really strong enough to help you or carry you, the leggy bends. And this mad person came and said, so are you going to buy us the bicycle? Because if you are not buying us the bicycle, this your advice is irrelevant. Man, I was like, oh, really? So I should buy you bicycles in order for you to endure the shege banza, the renewed shege of thiefnubu. Not you. Actually ask questions and say, listen, oh, if these guys if they got all this money, what did they do with the money? Because we are paying it back, right? Nigeria have lost so much that Nigeria don't even get money to pay back any loan. It is so bad, right? That before now, they say Nigeria was using 98% of Nigeria's revenue to service debt. Guess what? Nigeria revenue right now cannot even service 70% of your debt as they used to anymore. I'm not saying your entire debt. I'm saying using it to serve to, if you used to pay, for example, you used to send them maybe $1 billion, no, maybe not 1 billion, maybe $100 million. And you are taking that from your own revenue. You are lying to your people that you are now producing more crude oil. So if you produce more crude oil, shouldn't that mean making more money? It's only in Nigeria that these rogues will tell you they are now selling more oil. But there is no money to show for it. No money. A lot of you never believed that a day will come that you will need to buy a liter of petroleum for 900 naira, 1,000 naira. I told them this morning, in the next few days, weeks, and months, you are going to have to pay more than 2,000 naira for a liter of petroleum, 3,000 naira. Some said you probably will get to 5,000 naira. Oh, agent of doom, prophet of doom. We know that you don't wish Nigeria well. Do you want people to die? Well, they're asking me, you this Mayegun, do you want people to die? How can you be saying that? And I'm just trying to remind them that your naira don't enter gutters. These criminals told you they are not paying subsidy, but they are. And despite the fact that they are paying subsidy, so much of it, it is not reflecting on what you are paying for the same product, right? Subsidy was supposed to reduce what you pay for that product. But it is not. Now, Nigeria is so broke that the only money that these guys can get is loan. And how do you get loan to service debt? I don't understand. How do you go into debt just to pay for debt? No, not pay for debt, to service debt. That is to service the interest on your debt. What kind of economy is this? What kind of economic advisors are these? No, Mayegun, we know that you don't wish Nigeria well. God will shame. I say, no, stop it. Who did that for 8 years under Bukwari? You are going to die wretched. You are going to lose everything you have. I'm going to watch you lose everything. And it's not because I want you to. It's because some of you are so gullible, so stupid. so stupid and so loud that that's all these guys need. That's all they need. People like me, they laugh at me, they laugh at us. They say, continue to speak and continue to waste your time. The people you are talking the people you think you are talking to, they could actually don't have any clue. They will see you as enemy and will love it. They do, they love it. They are you morons. We jump at those who are trying to remind you what these guys represent, and not like propagating anything, but actually showing you what they represent in your everyday life. The real enemies of Nigeria are those who have decided to use you, because they call you Nigerian, as a collateral damage to service their own greed. And they are not just using you, they are also using your own children, including the children you have not even given birth to. So they turned around and said, are you wishing Nigeria? How can you say that? Instead of you to let us pray for Nigeria, I was like, what? If you are looking for those who really, really want you gone and dead, but before dead though, right? Wretched first, it's everything. These are the guys, their policies. So I said it on, then I also posted something. And it was about school resuming. I think Nigerian schools will resume next week, yeah? I think. When I first came to the UK, even though, yeah, my children were very young, of course, the total school fees I used to kind of send to Nigeria back then was probably like 200 pounds. Yeah, 200 pounds every 3 months. 50,000 naira, 200 pounds. Today, 200 pounds is over 400,000 naira. Right? But now I don't even have to send that 200 pounds. I have to send almost 1,000 pounds. That's why I laugh at some of you who thinks, who actually believes that the destruction of Nigeria, the destruction of Nigeria naira, right, is to your own advantage because you are living abroad. I used to send 200 pounds for my kids' school fees. The same kids, they are not in university. Now their tuition every 3 months right now, plus other things, is almost 1 million naira. So you see, that 1 million naira is about 500 pounds for me, right? That's that. So their inflation affects me. It affects you that lives in Nigeria even more, right? So if you are looking for the enemies of your enemy, the enemy of your own children's future, the enemies of your children's future, these guys are. So schools will resume. The schools will resume next week. There are so many children that will never resume. They've already dropped out. They're not planning to because they don't have the money. Yeah. And I'm talking about hundreds of thousands of them that are going to drop out. And that's how it's going to be every year. And yeah, those are going to be your future leaders. Uneducated, miseducated, no skill, no money, no nothing, no opportunity. They just have to exist in that contraption because of the decisions of these rogues. Guess what somebody said? And I said, well, I'm proud of what my union, Yoruba Union, has been doing. Okay, supporting the less privileged, as they put them, the poor children, the poor families in Yoruba land, right? From Kwara to Oshun, from Oshun to Ekiti, Ekiti to Ondo, Ondo to Ogun, Ogun to Lagos, yes, Lagos, and from Lagos to Ibadan, Oyo, where we have adopted children that were supposed to be enjoying supposedly free qualitative education in Yoruba land. Oh. So I said, well, I'm so proud of what we are doing, but I really do wish we could do more. apart from that, I really also do wish that you can hold these criminals responsible, because if they are talking about tomorrow, your tomorrow has been burnt today. They are raising future citizens who are going to not only be illiterate, misinformed, indoctrinated, and they will always be the willing tool for these criminals. And even if these criminals are gone, their children will also control your children. That is the Nigeria they are building. You should be concerned. You should be worried. You should. And you should look at it and say, how can this continue? Right? But they are not. No, they are not. Somebody said it's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. Instead of giving education or this and that to some people, why don't you just extend it to Eastern? One person even said, why don't you just extend this to Eastern Nigeria? Is it the only Yorubas? Like, please. This is actually not meant to be a competition of a fame. It is to point out that no amount of I'm going to adopt this, I'm going to adopt that, that is ever going to save this opposite future or the future generations that will never be educated. They will be miseducated. They will remain the willing tool in the hands of these criminals and their politics. And you should be concerned, you should be worried. No, many of them are, well, majority were, oh, my Egun, I understand. Thank you, my Egun. But there's these outliers who just came in and say, the government cannot do everything. So because you have now adopted some children now, we are not going to have a peace of mind. Is that why you are shouting? I was like, what the hell is wrong with people? The point is not about what we are doing. It is about what we are unable to do because of the failure of these guys. Do you not think that was going to catch up with everyone eventually? It will. 2 days ago or 3 days ago, right? This guy made it to the internet. He is one of the products of a failed country. And there are many.
Bread tẹ mú sùn kí ló tẹ jí wọn búrẹ́dì ṣe normal búrẹ́dì tẹ fi sínú báàgì yẹn ó yẹ mú jáde ṣe ya wèrè yín ìyá yẹn dẹ̀ tó sọ pé òun wá búrẹ́dì mọ̀ kí mo rí pé mú bọ́n ṣe kọ́kọ́ dé búrẹ́dì yẹn náà kọ́ jù sínú báàgì búrẹ́dì yẹn ló kọ́ jù sínú báàgì ó yẹ kí n jan eré tì àbẹ́ ya ẹ dẹ̀ tún sọ pé ẹ wá bì ó yẹ kúnlẹ̀ síbẹ̀ ṣe ya wèrè ni tí mo ṣe dúró tí mo fẹ́ ra ọ̀bẹ yẹn lọ́wọ́ yín tán ṣe kọ́kọ́ dé wọ́n yẹn gbé báàgì yẹn sílẹ̀ sẹ́yìn gan sùn ni wọ́n ti mú búrẹ́dì wọ́n ti fi sínú báàgì mo ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ pé mi ò rí wọn tẹ́ bá parọ́ mo lè ṣe yín léṣe ẹ dákẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ kí n sọ̀rọ̀ mi fẹ́ sọ tán ìgbà tí ẹ tó wá ń béèrè pé wọ́n tó wá láwọn fẹ́ ra búrẹ́dì ìyá yìí wá ń wá búrẹ́dì yẹn ìyá yẹn wá ń wá ẹni sùúrù ìyá yẹn wá ń sọ pé ẹnìkan tó wá bíbà tó lọ ló mú búrẹ́dì yẹn mo wẹ́sọ̀ ẹ̀kan sọ̀rọ̀ páwọn ti mú sínú báàgì wọn tún sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé ẹ ya wèrè ni. ẹ kó sì lọ tí ń fi bàjẹ́.
Hungry resorted into stealing. And there are many like that who probably don't even have the liver to go and steal. That is your society. That is because of the criminal politicians that are, and their policy, right? The criminal politicians who are cornering what's supposed to have been your common patrimony for themselves. That is the consequences. I know you might want to be like, I've had people who said, oh my God, I wish we know this guy. We should be able to help him and all of that. Again, how many of them like that would you be able to help? When the criminals who put them in that situation are still very much active. And every day, more and more and more and more people are being pushed to that edge. You should be concerned. So if you're looking for the enemies of Nigeria, please, you should stop trying to gaslight people who are bold enough to call them out. your criminal leaders. Even though they said elections have consequences, I agree. But the society they create, the society they are creating is a society that is going to be so dangerous, not just to the people they have become vulnerable. No, vulnerable people will become more dangerous. So people like you believes that you always find a means of surviving in it. They are breeding future destitutes, future illiterates, future, unempowered, unskilled people. Why billions and billions of dollars have been borrowed in your name? It should be concerning. I mean, it should be, shouldn't it? So one guy saw that guy, okay, made another video. Was like, I'm glad they found him though, right?
Bread tẹ mú sùn kilo tẹ jí wọn búrẹ́dì ṣe normal bread tẹ fi sínú báàgì yẹn ó yẹ mú jáde ṣe ya wèrè ó yẹ kí n tán ire tì abẹ́ ya wẹ́rẹ́.
Hi everyone, this is the caretaker, and ìgbà tí mo kọ́kọ́ rí fídíò ẹ̀ online ó touch mi, ó ká mi lára gan nítorí pé kí ni ẹni tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí ẹni mímọ̀ mi ni, ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n òun ni tó rájọ dàgbà ládùúgbò kan náà ni. Bọ̀n tí màá kọ́kọ́ sọ ni pé ṣe rí ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa kò ṣe gbogbo nǹkan náà ni ká kọ́kọ́ sáré rí ká máa sáré post sí online. Gbogbo nǹkan báyìí mi kò wà encouraging at all. Kò sẹ́ni tí ò lè ṣe, mi encourage pé nǹkan tó ṣe dáa o, ṣùgbọ́n kò sẹ́ni tí ò lè ṣe sí. Ẹ yẹ ká máa take it easy díẹ̀díẹ̀. Ṣé ẹ tẹ́ ń wò yìí? Èèyàn tó jẹ́ pé mi expect situation tó wà lẹ́ni ni. Ẹ lọ tẹ́ bá lọ sí Bashorun, ẹ lọ Bashorun, ẹ lọ sí Wo Road, ẹ lọ bèrè káàkiri. He's a great footballer. He's supposed to be one of the best left footers this Nigeria provide. Ṣùgbọ́n gbogbo ala ti mọ bí country ṣe rí. Ọmọ ológo nígbà tó ọmọ ológo máa ń sanná ní káàkiri. Agbábọ́ọ̀lù ńlá ni ẹ lọ tí ń bá parọ́ ọmọ Bashorun jọ ní wá àdúgbò kan náà lájọ dàgbà sí. Ó ń gbá kísàn bọ́ọ̀lù ní gbogbo Bashorun reluwé ẹ lọ bèrè káàkiri. Bọ́n tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ò ṣẹlẹ̀ mẹ́ lọ bèrè Rashidi ti bá parọ́ Rashidi. Tẹ́ bá ti ní yẹ̀kínì àgbálẹ̀ fúta ní Bashorun high school ló lọ ẹ lọ bèrè. But ó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ náà. Nígbà tí ọ̀nà bọ́ọ̀lù ò bọ̀ sí aláyé ìtúkọ̀ṣẹ́ bíríkìlà ṣé mo parọ́? So ṣùgbọ́n ó kàn dùn mí bí mo ṣe rí ẹjẹ́ ká máa take it easy. Bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ní airport side ní recently bí kò tí tó tú èsì tí náà ń jó bí náà ṣe ń jó tó àwọn èèyàn wá gbé fóònù wọn sáré ya fídíò ni tí property àwọn èèyàn ń jóná mọ́lé kí gbogbo wọn kọ́ ní ká fi máa chase cloud now. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n bèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹnu ní nǹkan fúnra rẹ̀. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹjọ́ yẹn gangan?
Lọ́jọ́ yẹn lélẹ̀ ọjọ́ yẹn mo ti ẹnìkan ẹ tí fẹ́ bá ṣiṣẹ́ ó ní wọ́n ti fẹ́ jẹ́ pé máa já máa tì yá sí léde pé ibẹ̀ mo tí wọ́n ń bọ̀ ẹni yẹn gbà tí máa débẹ̀ àwọn tí ó fẹ́ bá já máa tì yá sí wọ́n ní pé òjò tó rọ̀ pé kò jẹ́ kí wọ́n àwọn ò lè já máa tì yá sí but mo wá lọ gbà mo wá sí mo fi lọ sílé but ṣe rí nítorí àṣẹlẹ̀ ẹjọ́ ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀yin àbúrò mi ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ẹjọ́ ẹ ṣáà má bínú gbogbo ohun tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ má bínú ẹjọ́ ebi ló pa mí ní ọjọ́ yẹn ẹ ṣáà má bínú gbogbo tí ń bá ebi ló pa mí lọ́jọ́ yẹn pé bóyá pé mo jẹ́ èèyàn tó jẹ́ èèyàn burúkú ebi ló pa mí débẹ̀ ẹ má bínú ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run.
Èèyàn wa ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run bá ti ṣe sọ èmi náà bọ́ tírẹsẹ̀ ẹjọ́ ẹ má bínú torí lára àwọn àbúrò èmi náà wà ó ká èmi náà lára ńgbà tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ dùn mí jọjọ ṣùgbọ́n kò sẹ́ni tó kọjá àdánwò gbogbo àná mọ́ bí situation country ṣe rí ìgbọ́n mọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run á gbà wá ẹ̀bẹ̀ yẹn ló ti ẹ̀kọ́ síwájú náà kí gbogbo yín jọ torí Ọlọ́run kẹ́ má bínú kọ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ family nǹkan torí ẹ̀ńtà ìwò yín sìn àti fojú kara sìn yìí ó ti lé 10 years ṣùgbọ́n ọ̀rọ̀ situation ló mú wa papọ̀ bí kí ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ lẹ́yìn tí mo mọ̀ tí mo bó ṣe lọ very hard working very smart is always on his own bẹ́ẹ̀ bá kí gan yóò ra ó ń bá tiẹ̀ lọ́nu ilé nìyẹn ṣùgbọ́n kò sẹ́ni tó kọjá àdánwò kí ló family yín kọ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ ìyàwó àtọmọ.
kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ mi wà ìyàwó náà sì lélẹ̀ ìyàwó mi ó ti lọ nítorí ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ sẹ́mọ̀ kọ́nà ọba aláàánú ó má jẹ́ yóò sí ìyàwó fẹ́ ìyàwó tí mo ní pé bóyá pé mi ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ mo ń tọ́jú ẹ̀ but kò ní ìtẹ́lọ́rùn ọ̀rẹ́ ló sá ló tiẹ̀ pé bóyá pé kí èmi mo ń gbò dọ́dọ̀ mi mo ṣe freedom mo ṣe everything fún mi mo gbé bọ̀ ń gbò dígbẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ ló gbé but àwọn ọmọ mi wà pé kí ni ẹ sáà mọ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ kẹ́yìn ọmọ ẹ má bínú àti àwọn àbúrò àtàwọn ẹ̀yin àbúrò mi àti ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n mi àtẹ̀yìn tí a jọ lọ sí school tẹ́ ẹ ti rí bí gbogbo ẹ ṣe gbogbo ẹ ti rí gbogbo ẹ sáà má bínú sí mi ẹ má fojú pé àbí pé kẹ má fojú tí ò da ẹ má fi wò mí tó ti ẹjọ́ nítorí Ọlọ́run.
ẹ̀yin tèmi kẹ́yìn náà ti gbọ́ báyìí ẹ̀yin ti kí á ti kà ẹ̀yin ti Báṣọ̀run ọmọ Báṣọ̀run jọ níwá o kò sẹ́ni kí n máa dárúkọ tí n bá dárúkọ máa dárúkọ 1000 boys ní Báṣọ̀run tóbi gan ṣe rí ọ̀rọ̀ situation tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sẹ́ni yìí àwa lójú tì o ṣe ẹ̀dẹ̀ rí most of the time kò dìgbà téèyàn bá kú tán tí ó bá sí láyé mọ́ káṣẹ̀ mọ́ péjọ ká mọ́ sunkún kiri ká mọ́ sọ pé a fẹ́ dárú ẹ̀ ojú ayé èèyàn lèèyàn ti lè ṣàánú yàn ẹjọ́ torí ọlọ́ọ̀ba ní tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sọkùnrin àwa lójú tì o ṣùgbọ́n torí pé kíni wọ́n sọ pé ọmọ Báṣọ̀run ni mo mọ ọ̀rẹ́ lágbájá báyìí ní àbúrò lágbájá báyìí ni please I'm pleading let's rise up and assist him please ẹjọ́ torí ọlọ́ọ̀ mo ń bẹ̀bẹ̀ ni lórúkọ tèmi àti fámìlì tèmi àtàwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wa pọ̀ ẹ má yẹ ká dárúkọ anybody ẹ má yẹ kójú tí wà Báṣọ̀run is big àti fẹ̀ London America àti wà káàkiri ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ojú ò gbọdọ̀ tiwa ẹ jẹ́ ká help àwọn ẹ̀ tí mo social media náà mo ti rí pàwọn kankan ti fẹ́ dìde assistant kan ti sọ pé please get me his contact a máa fi contact tẹ̀ ti lè reach wọn a máa fi sí ìsàlẹ̀ ńsìn ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí ẹni tó bá fẹ́ assist náà why not ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run but ẹ ṣáàjọ kò ń ṣe pé torí owó gangan náà láwùlẹ̀ ṣe dìdí ṣe fídíò torí àti ṣe public apology because ẹni tó post ẹ̀ náà ó rò bóyá òun ṣe bí ni bóyá dẹ́rù kóun fẹ́ fi ní follower ní àbúrò kóun ṣe tó dá lójú ara ẹ̀ ní ìwọ tó post ẹ̀ náà a dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ torí tó bá post ẹ̀ à ní rí ìnáwó ọmọ ìyá wa àti rí ìnáwó rí báyìí ó ṣe púpọ̀ so this just to tender public apology sẹ́yìn ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀yin ti Báṣọ̀run high school ẹ̀yin ti Báṣọ̀run ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má bínú ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ̀yin takẹ́kẹ́ olóròǹbó ẹ̀yin family ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀yin àbúrò ẹ̀yin ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀yin bàbá ẹ̀yin ìyá ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má bínú mo bẹ̀ yín ni lórúkọ Yàṣídì Kíní àti gbogbo wa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ má bínú ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bàbá ó ti tó mọ́ sọ́kùn.
So I have been trying to see if I could get that same contact, but it didn't come with that video, unfortunately. But if anybody from that Báṣọ̀run area who actually have his contacts is watching this video, okay, I don't know what other people might want to do for him, but I mean, right, please reach out, okay? Please reach out to Mayegun. There is a number on this screen. Yeah, there is a number on this screen and it's a WhatsApp number, okay? Please reach out. We could also reach out and support him, but this is the point. His own case made it to the internet. Tens of thousands others will never make it to the internet. But somebody like that who grew up in a Báṣọ̀run area, he was a young footballer, a left footer. He was regarded as one of the best strikers when he was growing up. In fact, they expected him to become a footballer. Then Nigeria happened to him. When that happened, you can tell he's not got education. He's not got any proper, real skills, except when they said he was a bricklayer or a laborer. I am using him as a point of contact to show to you that there are many, 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 many like him scattered all over Nigeria, simply because of the actions, the policies of these Olori Burukus that you call your leaders in Nigeria. And to those of you who can still hold it together, patch it together, tell yourselves that maybe they are just lazy. They should go and look for a job. Your own is coming. You know what? When Bokwari and his change agents, when they were screaming change, 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 in 2015, there were those who were still employed. They had life. Indeed, they said they wanted change. Alaye, 9 years after that, if they are not dead, majority of them, you can't see them right now and recognize them. And all of this is not because they are lazy. It is simply because you have a system that produces criminals, and criminals who make policies policies that will continue to impoverish the people like him. Now, I had to use that, but let's sort of come back to what Shitty Man had to say concerning this year of fuel scarcity parts, and then maybe Nigeria generally, right? Then we'll go to the next one.
I am here to offer the deepest condolences of the government and people of Nigeria to the Ningi Emirate and the government and people of Bauchi State over the loss of our revered father and leader, His Royal Highness Alhaji Yunusa Muhammad Dayaya, and to register our profound support for His Royal Highness Alhaji Haruna Yunusa Dayaya as he sets out to lead the Emirate through a new era. And I must seize this opportunity to commend the governor for making a wise choice. As we mourn, it is important to reflect on the immense value that our traditional institutions represent in this country. They are not only the custodians of our cultures, values, and history, but the very backbone of our society. These institutions serve as a reminder of our origins and offer inspiration to see the essence of our diversity in all that we do. The Emirate, under our late father's stewardship, was a guiding light for many, and his contributions will not be forgotten. His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked me to express his deepest sympathy to you, to His Excellency the Governor of Bauchi State, to His Royal Highness the Emir of Ningi.
Liejiriyans.
Just you, I think I don't really like listening to it. I don't know. Like I sort of feel irritated to continue listening to that. There's a part I initially wanted you to listen or hear, right? But don't worry, I'll say it myself. Right. He was the one who called a meeting yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. When they were discussing the issue of the fuel scarcity. Nigerians are suffering, like they were born to suffer, right? Nigerians are suffering and going through so much. And to the point that people are not really angry that the price of petroleum is high. Not just that. They are sad that even though it is expensive, it is unavailable. Now that makes it even more like double jeopardy, double punishment, so to say. So he called a meeting yesterday where the supposed minister of Petroleum states, Enikin Oloikobiri or something. Or something. Just use Enikin. So they attended the meeting where they said NNPC Nigeria is, listen to this, NNPC Nigeria is owing marketers $6 billion. Okay. NNPC owes $6 billion to marketers. What does that even mean? Because usually, NNPC is the sole importer of petroleum products and all products to Nigeria, like petroleum products. NNPC has stopped paying subsidy, as you were made to believe. But the last 15 months, NNPC has paid over $4 billion on subsidy, which was kind of tabulated as over 6 trillion naira has been paid on subsidy in the last 1 year. So if 4 billion or 4.5 billion is over 6 trillion naira, hello, why is CFC, why is NNPC still owing over $6 billion to oil marketers? So I've been trying to kind of rack my brain and all of that, trying to, but not as much because I know it's all scam. But here is what I was racking my brain on. If you have paid out over 6 trillion naira in a space of a year on fuel subsidy, the one you removed, then you are still owing $6 billion, which is going to be like about 8 trillion naira on the same subsidy. Hold marketers. And because of this, NNPC doesn't have the capacity to import any fuel anymore. That's what they are now saying. Like NNPC cannot afford to import fuel to Nigeria anymore, except something happens. Something like what? So that was why, this is why I was like racking my brain, like, okay, racking. Oh, when these guys will finish with all of you, you'll be so lucky to buy a liter of petroleum for 2,500 naira per liter. In Nigeria, a place where they told you 87 naira was fraud, was a ripoff. 87 naira per liter petroleum was a ripoff. For 2,500 naira per liter petroleum is actually a good deal. Witchcraft, what should we call this? Anyway, they said that, I actually put that out. I said, in the next few days, weeks, subsequently months, they are going to normalize you buying a liter of petroleum for 2,500, 3,000 naira. They are already selling it almost close to that in some places outside Lagos. So there was this interview, just street vibes. They were talking to the Danfo drivers in Lagos. Why are you always on the rush, on the run, and all of that stuff? They said, listen, if you have to spend 60,000 naira today on fuel, 60,000 naira tomorrow on fuel, 60,000 naira next day again on fuel. Even if you don't have the attitude of misbehaving on the road, that attitude will automatically become yours. I don't know, I kind of agree.
You want to know why they now they dry off? What about the water food? Obodo ni Presidiot. So gboro mi wa okay. Agbadile pẹ̀lú àwọn mi. Mo wa ti gbon. Tí bá ti wà lẹ́nu iṣẹ́ báyìí, mi ìyàwó mi gan mi rí bus stop. Èrò ṣe fẹ́ kó yẹn, òun ló máa lórí ẹ̀mí tèmi.
See, no be say everybody they like to drive rough like that. Some people now, they know they drive rough. Like me, now from Benue say, now they decide to drive before I come Lagos. Now Lagos, now correct. Now them, me I no fit tell you lie. Now Lagos, now correct.
Inside traffic, you know, we are always driving rough to get to where we are going. Faster, yeah.
Last man with a task force, with those dogs where then they follow their work, then walk. Now then they danger us.
All these people, they go catch you, take you. You when you are driving gently, they go now base you, pursue you down, say go on, go down. Collect your motor, carry and go Oshodi. Say me you go pay 60,000. Then collect 60,000 today, 60,000 tomorrow, 60,000 next tomorrow. You self, you go be driving rough.
Because all these people, you don't see them along the express. You do bomber to bomber.
Bomber to bomber means that you don't want another vehicle to enter your front.
If they will give the devil like you give them a chance, they will enter your bus. It's money. That's why I'm driving rough along the express.
Tó bá ń lọ ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì, tó bá ń lọ wọ́n ṣáṣí, tó bá ti wá Danfo máa craze ní díẹ̀. Danfo ṣe nǹkan tó amẹ́ṣíà. Ẹ tó wà ló ń sinwìn. Náyọ̀gà. Danfo ṣe rẹ̀ tó wà ló ń craze.
All of the bus stop wey dem do for Lagos for us, then they catch up for this bus stop. As I dey talk now, my motor dey for Oshodi now. Motor dey for there, I no see money collect motor. Wetin I go do? If I collect motor back, say I no go dry rough.
Tí ẹ bá ti lé sílẹ̀, particular tó gbà kò falébù rárá. Yes, wọ́n ní kalẹ̀ pé mọ́tò ṣe. Tẹ́ bá tún ṣe, èyí tí wọ́n tún ṣe rárá, á kọjá lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ bí dàpọ̀ òun ti mú nǹkan kan lẹ̀. Kini ó fún wa ní ẹ̀dẹ̀kì gan. Wọ́n kọ́ Danfo.
When you first started from conductor, doing conductor, from conductor, you will now started be doing conductor. From there, you will know how to drive.
and from there.
So you just dey watch your guy dey.
Yes, as your guy dey drive, you dey be watching it. Yeah, this is the way. This is the way.
That was your call. Won't call down for.
We no fit jam because we know how we dey clinch to motor ourselves. That is why.
Normally, if you know your line, you no go jam motor now. I been a lie. If your brake for motor dey okay, and then you know motor where you follow, and then you know as your motor be. Like some people now, they don't know how to, they don't know no monitor of the motor. They go just come out the morning now, start motor, enter motor. Like we now, where we say we suffer for motor, we do conductor before you sabi drive motor. When you wake up in the morning, you go see tire, you go gauge oil, you go gauge brake oil, whether brake oil dey inside. But no be all of us where they do driver. Some people now they just go buy motor, carry their motor, teach themselves to drive. But we do conductor before we sabi drive, so we go know many things for.
Many things. The life of those who actually chooses also to earn legitimate living is made is made hell of by those who are supposed to regulate them indeed, but they are not interested in regulating them. They are interested in extorting them, thereby creating the societal menace that you see out there. Victims of a rotten system. It trickles down. See, if they tell you that it is their line of job that changed their lives and turned them to what you are seeing and say, why do you look this rough? Say, well, I have to be, or else I can survive this society. All right? Still talking about the society. You see those ones who chooses legit way and other illegitimate ways, you've seen them, but you will see those who are also being sort of groomed as ass lickers, crumb eaters, crumb chasers, and on like that, with a government arrange empowerment, so to say. I saw one, and it was this your pastor, the redeemed pastor, Dayo Israel. Yeah, Dayo Israel, the supposed youth leader of APC, and he is also a parish pastor of RCCG, a liar, a criminal, a thief himself. So they put together inside the ass old rock, right? Groomed together the ones I want to say, maybe the ones that are able to say they went to school, and they call it a seminar for youth APC, inside the ass old rock. Okay, Nigeria way. Now I'm gonna show you. Where is that guy? You're mad. Okay, yeah.
Great progressive young leaders. First, let me congratulate the national youth leader for this very innovative steps they are taking. Like I said, for us, this offers another genuine platform to lead to original, serious farmers who truly want to farm, not as a subsistence, but as a business. And I want to assure you that we are going to take this platform very, very seriously, so that we do not just be, because we initiated it, and after it is done, everything is done. It should be done in such a way that I will support you. If you want cooperative registration in the hospital body, grant that to you. Further, and have for the kind of cooperative. So if this young or progressive farmers network is registered as a cooperative society, I want to guarantee you that you are already having money. So, having said this, I want to thank my sister, the Honorable Minister of Arts, Culture, and Economy, and my big brothers here, the Honorable Minister of State, and all the youth leaders at zonal and other levels. And as we carry out this very remarkable task. This is basically a making, and I want to congratulate all Nigerian youth. We do this to the glory of Almighty Allah and for the benefit of the whole nation.
My leader, thank you very much.
How many food are you people carrying? How many food are you carrying? We are patient with Nigeria. We were patient with Nigeria. So we go to our own patience. Now one of which is incredible leader. See now, this is overflow of food. So you people, you are collecting how many food are you coming with? That's the point now. Share with others now. Your team. Everybody, Bayelsa. You know, try come from Bayelsa. So everybody have food. So they are still. I told them to go and bring like 200 more from there. Yeah, my name is Musa. Thank you for this. Thank you. Yeah, good man. Thank you for the initiative. So everybody on this bus now has more than enough food. Yes, so it's those who left early. Everybody got the food. The distribution of the food. Yes. That was the problem. So look, everybody is carrying 5-5. How come you guys are carrying 5-5? They're clearly waited. Sir, no, actually, many people left. Because of the leader. That's why there's no overflow. Nothing go do am na our own. Nothing go do am.
APC youth, hungry bastards, so to say. That's all that matters, because for you to be there, okay, you have to submit your name and they have to promise you that we're going to give you some money once they release money. But for now, food day. And since now food day for now, so everybody just carry 5-5. Any food that you can possibly eat now and eat tomorrow and warm it day after, why not? One from Bayelsa said, have you not tried? We are from all the way from Bayelsa. So yeah, I don't take 5. APC, that's their initiative of empowering. No, I don't want to use them. Well, let's use that. Empowering the young people in Nigeria to become productive. That's what they do all the time. So at the end of the day, right, the money will be released. Those guys, they don't have any farm or anywhere. Here you get. They don't need your farm. You don't need farm. As long as they submitted your name and you manage to you find your way to Abuja. You see those buses at that Eagle Square. The buses were to take them, or should I say the buses actually took them into the Aso Rock Villa, right? Inside the Aso Rock Villa, that's where they had the first church you saw, okay? Then they returned them back there with food, and they will get back to them later once they release money. And everybody can collect the money, 200,000, 500,000, and that will be their own gain for being a member of thiefnubu'sspokesman supporters club, the youth. They say, let's leave those ones. They also sent few others, but they sent one. They said that one is a Nel Fund coordinator. They sent them to Imo, sent them to Anambra to go and raise awareness on student loan.
Of the greatest Nigerian students, you. Greatest Koolu. Greatest Baba. Greatest me. I try, I think. Good evening, students. All protocols observed. The reason we are here.
Dressed up. They are supposed to be the representatives of student loan. I mean, you were supposed to possibly just go online as a student with your student ID the name of your school, your student identification number, right? Then you apply for the loan. It's a loan. It's not a gift. But because it is a scam, I told you this one for a long time. Okay? And when I say scam, I mean it's about distributing money, giving money like that. And all they have to do is just to show to you that they have given the money to 1, 2, 3, 4. Or they have given the money to 2,000, 1,000, or 5,000 people. They can even tell you that they've given the money to 10,000 or 20,000 students out of millions of students. That the economy of Tifnumbu has wrecked them. A lot of them will actually have to drop out of that same school. So you can't say there is no student loan if they now have given it to maybe 2,000, 5,000, or 10,000 people. So others who haven't collected it, maybe because they did not apply, or maybe because they listen to Mayegun that it's a scam, maybe because they'll give you reasons. Because it is a scam. That's what a scam looks like. Make it look real enough that you can tell how many people have been paid and how much. For example, right? Take a look at this your screen from the right side, okay? I kind of mixed them up. See, Federal Polytechnic, Nakede, that was the video you watched earlier. They said now only one student they approved in that place. See this video.
Of the greatest Nigerian students, you.
So that is Federal Polytechnic, Nakede in Imo State. Now only one person they paid 368,000 naira student loan. Federal University of Health Science, Ilaorogun, Osun State. I don't know how many students, but they said they've paid 7.5 million. You know, Federal University, Wukari, Taraba, they've paid 97 million. Olabisi Onabanjo University, 7.2 million. University of Ibadan, 9.7 million. Osun State University, 218 million. Usman Danfodio University, Sokoto, 226 million. Now, I don't have to read all of that to you, but you shall get the concept. Now, once they show you all of this, the next story you are going to hear is that those who have been paid, they are the people who applied. So 2.1 billion shared to 18,998 students is the Nigerian student loan. And you should be grateful to Tifnumbu. Like, you should be grateful. So if you are from any of those institutions and you're unable to pay your school fees, maybe you hated Tifnumbu. Maybe you'd never applied. Maybe you are just somebody who just hated the government. Because in your school, more than 20 people get paid student loan. That's all they have to do. That's how scammers work. That's how fraud works. I'm glad they put number to that, though. Because the next thing you're going to hear is that they've spent over 200 billion on student loan. And then you'll be asking yourself, now who collected 200 million from these guys in the last 2 years? They say, you may not believe, it's because you are enemy of government now. Is it not because you don't like him? Over 200 billion. Do you know how many people have benefited? Over 400,000 students have benefited. That's it. They can manufacture number. With this, they can manufacture any number. So if you come from any of these institutions and you say, oh, I can't pay my school fees, please help me. And I say, are you joking? You've paid your school fees now. From the record of this Tifnumbu, they said they've paid your school fees. So no, they didn't pay anything. No. I don't know who they gave the money to. They will say, oh, it's because you don't like them. That's why you did not get the money. The people that believed in it, the people that trust the government, they have gotten the money. It's a scam, isn't it? It is. And I saw something as well where, look at this old man. And the person will design Nigeria, green, white, green flag with this. Akin Kumi or so. That's his name. This man was given a national honor. I think he was given OON or something because he designed Nigeria green, white, green flag. Okay. Then he died last year. He died poor, wretched though, right? But as if that is not enough. When the announcement was made of his passing, of his death, thiefnubu was the Presidiot then. Or thiefnubu has become your Presidiot. So we want to go bury our papa, we don't get money. thiefnubu and his gang told them, no, we have to give him a national burial. Somebody that designed Nigeria flag. You can't bury him just like that. Nigeria will bury him. Until yesterday, when the family finally decided that, it is better we bury this papa before we will not go recognize him anymore because it go turn to skeleton. Once it turns to skeleton, right, they can't even recognize him or his dead body. I don't know if they probably recognized him when they finally had to bury him yesterday because Koolu's people, nobody called them again. Nobody. I heard that Seyi Makinde gave them money though. He bought the coffin. Yeah, Seyi Makinde. And the man is from Ogun State, not from Oyo State. So Seyi Makinde bought the coffin and he gave the family some money for his burial. That's how we got to know that they've not even buried him since September 2023 when he died. Somebody says, serve Nigeria and come back in shame. Right to that. Right to that. Serve Nigeria and come back in shame. That's not all. Here, I found something, and it is, I don't know if I am overreacting or not. I don't think this is right. So I saw these two clips. I joined them together. They are from Ondo State, Akure to be precise. One is called Stadium Junction. Is it Stadium Junction or Airport Junction? I don't know. Another one is called Okay, you know what? I'll show you. The state of the streets in Akure, Ondo State capital, as at 4 p.m. yesterday evening. The whole city, the whole state has been overrun with filth, death like that. Even though they are preparing to have an election, I think soon. Like the people of Edo who are having their own this month, I think they are having theirs in 2 months' time. I think doesn't really matter. So, talking about the environment, I picked this up from this guy. His name is Tokumbo. I think Tokumbo is their supposed commissioner for environment in Lagos State. The guy that was behind all those demolitions at the time. He was out again a few days ago. Even though this is commendable, it also gives me the chance to show you the mega shitty that thiefnubu and his gang were supposed to have built 25 years ago. Let's go to that Lagos.
If you go at the back of it, you see that that place also is a problem, sir.
It was fun
It has defense. We served all of them, sir.
It's not fair on government.
We served all of them.
I will stop them. What to hand over? Along this time. Because the channel.
So that's why we want to open a very open channel.
Like this, we can go to the back there.
No, you can't cherry pick. We have the map when we get back to there's so much government can do. So and I will look at this like
This is one of the installation projects of the President.
And so we are starting.
Now, luckily the rain has subsided. I know it's going to start again. So let's just start and make use of the time.
So even if the evacuation, the clearing will be the very first thing we'll do next.
Everything on the right of it. To move it. I start to do this. So when we come next week, we have to do this.
Go back.
Who is the contractor right
Channels move like that.
Very far away.
So that I'll be a little.
Right of the village. Do everything you do right. I don't know the
This way it's not good. So I can't be one. Yes, I don't be one. Sorry, sir. The width of the channel is 15 meters. 15 meters on the right or on the left.
So, what we do is,
all the setback, but the channel has the.
So we have to take our setback.
We have to take our setback, definitely.
No sentiments in all these things. Hope you serve them.
Yeah, we serve them.
And you mark them.
Yes, sir.
So once you've done that, let us up. Setback here. Once you stand your ground, what is the leverage? Otherwise.
But we have, if we say this channel is adequate, however, we don't have enough setback. We have given.
Have you served them?
Yes.
The mega shitty. I like what he's doing, like, you know, even though it sort of, to me, it invalidates somebody that built Lagos, that is the filthiest, the most dirtiest, so to say, a city without a sewage system, a city without a drainage system, a city without a railroad network. And they said that Koolu built that, you know. So I always, whenever that guy goes everywhere, right? I am not kind of like wanted to show, not that I want to show you that he's going, no. I want to show you environment. I want to show you the surroundings. I want to show you their Lagos, you know, that this lunatic.
Mona wala mabori o àwa kì í sọ máa jẹ bọ́ tó fojoojúmọ́ mu CV ṣùgbọ́n àwa náà lè mú bọ́ bí ẹ tó bá tètè dá mu fán tó bá pẹ́lẹ́ ìwà gba pí ọwọ́ ẹni tí ò bá dìbò fún APC á ní láti Abẹ́òkú á ní lọ sí Ọjọ́ á jábọ́ sí Gọ́ ní dédé agogo mẹ́. Nítorí agogo mẹ́, wọ́n á gbé lọ ẹsẹ̀, wọ́n á lẹ bọ́dì ẹ̀ ní class, tó bá lajọ́ mọ̀ pé APC ní máa, tó bá mọ jàgàbá lọ́wọ́ pó, tó bá fẹ́ darapọ̀ bèrè.
Nuisance lele.
Somebody sent that to me. But let's go back to that their street. They are still showing around, right? Tokumba Wahab, I think that's his name. He's a commissioner, right? Let's go back.
So let us come up and go and call, but that's my concern. If I give them something, somebody else calls us and says, give them eggs somewhere else. There won't be a really positive.
As I did say, they came to clear this matter. And I've been here, talking to them. No, yes, I understand. I understand.
I won't say but put on the table and take your response. If it's something that is practical, I'll call you that this is practical because I'm sure it is. We have to go around the areas to know how we get it.
Àti lọ wo most upstream alábàràkọ àti wo iwájú last week.
Welcome, sir.
There's no way we can do it.
and you get back to the other side of the road. You can even work with your position. Okay, you do this for them. You can't reduce it. It will come to one for everybody.
Wait, yeah, you did.
Wait, they go.
One on the other side, they go. Why is this side? They go.
Offensive. The 10 is what we have to do because of the major challenges we are having here. And it's already affecting the infrastructure on the main road. Even your open floor. But because of the challenge, start back to open it up. Whenever I regret it. It's painful, but something has to give.
I understand.
Their cost is money.
I understand.
And I have to respect that. Let us explain the way that. We're going to talk to them. Everybody will see why we have come. Emotions here, but tough decisions have to be made. If they are giving us what they gave us there, it will be easier for us to even justify. That was not even up to 10. About 5 or thereabout. So somebody has to still give there. But look at this one compared to that one. It's not fair.
Oh yeah, yeah, Carlson. Oh yeah, go back there.
What we ordinarily should do is take 10 right away to clean and maintain the channel. So before coming, because of his own intervention, we had to go around the other channels that distract to this place. And based on what we found out, there's much nothing we can do than to start the enforcement and clean up immediately. But he said we should find a way to reduce the setback from the standard 10 that is in the law to 7.
Yes.
7 I can't give a report because what's happened is written. We have to find a way to write it and justify it. Because why will not come tomorrow and start blackmailing that? So I told him I won't say yes, I won't say no, but that is reasonable proposition he has given government. It's also part of government. So we'll go back now and look at how we can mitigate these numbers to be win-win for everybody. But what we found out without lying, Chief, this side will get that comfortable. My worry is the other side. Even if we choose to go with the solution of saying 7, we can find that out here with ease. And then the equipment can come in, do the work, discharge, maintain through the years for all of us. If it's not done, what happened at that junction at Tuba? What happened repeatedly, and the properties will be destroyed over time. And why did they happen? Because of this charge. They were clogged. We've awarded the contract, so you just come and tell you that, okay, this is what we have to do. So, to have a win-win, we'll go back, I will call him. He said 7. If it's 7, the 7 will be across board, so everybody will know we are taking 7 on this particular channel. And it will be in writing. In writing for posterity's sake. And there will be a trail to that. I don't want to be there tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Somebody
I want to say something.
suggested and they have given us this position in writing. But if we take 7 here, I'm certain 7 will be replicated on others.
Take 7 there, so that we won't have this problem in the future. 25 years ago, thiefnubu was said to have told people, well, they keep saying that. They said thiefnubu had a master plan for Lagos, which means Lagos had a master plan that they developed. There was no master plan anywhere. There was nothing. So thiefnubu himself didn't use the master plan because there was nothing called master plan. There is no plan. Okay. So they said, oh, he gave it to Pashola. Oh, really? Oh, then he gave it to Ambode. Oh, he gave it to Sonweiku. There was no plan anywhere. Okay. And you see what that guy is doing? I kind of like it. But at the same time, you can tell there was no real plan too. They just had to right on the spot and say, okay, you know what? Maybe we should do this and do that. Because last, properties and businesses that are opened along along the channel, they are always going to be prone to the disaster of flooding, which is also something that always triggered these guys to come out and bring out their bulldozers and all that, because there was no plan. There was no plan in Lagos, you know. But yeah, they run it that way. That's how they are running it in that shit hole, right? So I decided to show you that because it's not because of what they are doing that matters per se, but I just want to show you their shitty Lagos. The same one that they said thiefnubu should come and build for Nigeria. Is building it right now, right? And I hope you are enjoying it as well. So let's leave them, their Lagos and the rest for now, okay? I'm going to take you to Kigali. Now, Kigali, you know, we're talking about food, this, food, that, people hungry and all that. Yeah. So they took Peter Obi to Kigali. Again, this is not even about the food for me. It's mostly about the reactions of these young people in Rwanda. Somebody said that Peter Obi has become the most influential politicians in Africa, no doubt. But some people would say it's debatable. But here, we're seeing him as a special guest at a food conference or something in Kigali, Rwanda.
I was here from 6.
Ensuring your outdoor is too short.
Sorry.
Of system in Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I will bring on stage, please have a seat. Once again, I will bring on stage one amazing, fantastic, energetic
to invest in the energy, entrepreneurship, and innovative spirit of the young people who can drive this process by encouraging them to know that this is the next. It's for the leaders to be committed. First, leadership must be demand-driven, to listen to the youth, what they want. If you're talking about agriculture, youth, first you have to look at what is the problem of Africa. The number one problem of Africa is insecurity and food insecurity. And food insecurity, if properly tackled, can drive the overall insecurity, because we're talking about creating jobs in the food system, being able to feed people, because hunger is one of the things that are driving it. And we can only do this by investing in the entrepreneurship of the youth. We are aggressive, and this is the last thing. We have 60% of cultivated arable lands in Africa, and we have youth population that are ready to drive this process. If I use my country, Nigeria, for example, where we have over 60% of the land cultivated, living
in Africa, is a statistic guy. I'm coming to the end of the program, though, right? So after that chat, I don't want to deep you too much. You've heard a lot of speeches tonight, right? Starting with that of Debulaba. and then Wale Idun. So after the whole thing there, talk.
Nigerians in Kigali, Rwanda, surrounding Mr. Petroleum.
Food security and involvement of in. Very good.
From Rwanda. So thank you so much, everyone. I am also not taking calls this evening, and I promise you, right? Most of what I had before, most of what I had to share with us during that my long stretch of break, right? I have managed to share them in the last 2 days. So maybe the next time we are going to have enough space for us to have a chat. So somebody said that, has Mayegun recovered fully? I don't understand what you mean by that, but I saw the comment. To recover fully, is it that to go back to my tiny size that was never really like a thing, right? Or recovered fully from my surgery, right? Well, I don't know what fully means, okay? But I believe that a recovery actually takes time, okay? It's going to be gradual. And I am not going to remain an invalid throughout the time of recovery. So this is how we're going to get on, okay? So thank you so much, everyone. I hope you enjoy, to some extent, your evening with me tonight. And I'm looking forward to that of tomorrow. Thanks a lot, and you all have a good night.
Mo ní àwa la máa borí ọ̀. Àwa kì í ṣọmọ ajẹbọ́. Tó fojoojúmọ́ mu sí vi. Ṣùgbọ́n àwa náà lè mú bọ́n vi. Ẹ tó bá tètè dá mu fán. Tó bá pẹ́lẹ́ ìwà gba pure wọ. Ẹni tí ò bá dìbò fún APC á rìn láti Abẹ́òkú. 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 Á rìn lọ sí Ọjọ́. Á jábọ́ sí Gọ́. Ní dédé agogo mẹ́. Nítorí agogo mẹ́, wọ́n á gbé lọ ẹsẹ̀, wọ́n á lẹ bọ́dì ẹ̀ ní plás, tó bá lọ́jọ́ mọ̀ pé APC ní máa, tí ó bá mọ jàgàbá lọ́wọ́ pó, tó bá fẹ́ darapọ̀ béèrè fún dá, lórí kọ̀ǹpútà, ẹgbẹ̀ ló ti máa rí wa bẹ́ẹ̀, kò sí táìmù àwọn máa ríra lé.
Nuisance lélẹ́yìí. Nuisance.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Mayegun dayari politico. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun dayari Nayibi #1. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. diary, now you be number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé. Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí Presidiot bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí gómìnà kówó jẹ.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Máyégún máa bí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Máyégún ti dé.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Máyégún ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkanṣá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní má ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré, ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run ṣọ́ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù. Lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù. Bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. Èèpo ọ̀bọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́, ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà. Àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o, ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì o. Ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Máyégún ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.